Welcome back to The V, the voice of Alabama politics. Our special guest today is Katie Britt, President and CEO of the Business Council of Alabama. Welcome, Katie.
Thank you so much for having me, Bill. I appreciate it.
Do you know I have a nickname for you?
Oh, give it to me. I want to hear.
The Notorious KBB.
I like it.
The Notorious
I like it.
Katie Boyd Britt, because
I like it.
You are a dynamo. I know a lot of the women that work for me, you are a shining example to them. They think you are the type of leadership that Alabama has so desperately needed. And you are a role model to young women in our state. And I want to thank you personally for being the Notorious KBB.
Well, I appreciate that more than you know. I mean, that's truly an honor. And I will tell you, as I meet these young women across the state, whether it be here with you or out speaking or out working different meetings and things like that, I am inspired by the leadership that they have and their vision for the state and their grit and determination and willingness to move us forward. So it's mutual.
I have a, we all have nicknames. And I think that was...
I had not heard that. I like it.
Anyway.
I like it.
Governor Kay Ivey delivered her 2020 State of the State. And as I think we wrote, she rocked it.
She did. And speaking of grit and determination and true leadership, I mean, it exuded from her in every single point that she made throughout that speech. Weren't you encouraged? When she said real leaders don't shrink, in the face of adversity, but they stand, I thought, absolutely, and we need more of that if we're going to move our state forward.
And I agree. We were speaking with the governor the other day, and I said, Governor Ivey, I don't mean to shine your apple because I'm taking a few bites out of it. But really, she is so head and shoulders above the leaders. She's taking on the hard task that her predecessors only nibbled around the edges. And whether it's prison reform or rural broadband or workforce development. And I know you're involved in a lot of these things and you see the importance of it. I mean, you represent the business community of Alabama, the economic engine that drives us forward. And so what particularly out of the State of the Union caught your ear?
I would say several things. First, as we just referenced, her willingness to tackle these tough things. I have said time and time again, unless we have leaders that get in a room and talk things out and are willing to make tough decisions, we're going to consistently be 48, 49, 50, 51, and 52. And so I was very encouraged to see her. There's nothing that she missed in all of that. I would say in particular, workforce development obviously is something that continues to speak to the business community. So as the Workforce Council has laid out and the governor has said, we have a very ambitious goal of having 500,000 new highly skilled workers by 2025. We have heard things from anything from being 120,000 workers short to recently the Business Education Alliance has said potentially even 200,000 workers short. So to listen to her place emphasis on that is something that speaks directly to the business community. Bill, I think for a long time people looked at workforce development and said, that means let's talk to our 11th and 12th graders about what they want to do or where they want to go to college. And to see a more comprehensive approach, particularly coming from the very top of our state, is very encouraging. I would say that approach that talks about pre-K and talks about the importance of making sure that our youngest Alabamians have the opportunity to thrive. And then all the way through, career coaching and talking about how we get 8th graders engaged and the many opportunities that can create success. I think a long time ago, we kind of thought, or even more recently, that the only path to success was a 4-year degree. And I think we know that is absolutely not true. And you saw that in the things that she was talking about. I was encouraged by her talking about the incarcerated population and making sure that we are equipping them with the tools to come back out and be successful citizens.
And I think that's important, and that you bring that up. It reminds me of the fact that when we put people in prison, we are demanding that they stay away from society for a period of time. But at the end of that time, they're going to come back into society. And if they do not have jobs and they don't have places to live and they don't have the tools to survive out here with us, they're going back to prison.
That's right.
And so she had a lady there who had gone to Ingram State who had gotten a certificate, who got a job and got other people jobs. These are the kind of success stories we need to build on. I used to have a friend who had a company that almost solely employed ex-inmates, ex-incarcerated people. And he started them out at $15 an hour, the best job they'd ever had. And almost all of them were a success.
That's right. Give them a chance for success.
Yeah.
I will tell you, we at the Business Council had the opportunity to tour Ingram State Technical College, and the work that they are doing there with the inmate population, particularly as they're getting ready to be released, is incredible. And obviously, I think they said in 2019 they had 309 inmates that were released that had gone through the program, and I believe they placed 278 of them in jobs. And you know, that's, if we're going to meet the workforce needs of our state, and we're also going to do a better job of making sure we're creating good communities. I mean, this is an essential piece of that.
It is, and
excited to see that.
And one of the other things I think she hit on during the State of the State that was the mental health crisis we have and the mental health opportunities we have.
Right.
One of the things that gets underserved in job recruitment and job training are there people with some limited mental incapacitation.
That's right.
That can do certain types of jobs, but they also have to have training. But one of the things that we've seen in our whole nation, and especially in Alabama, there is a lack of emphasis on taking care of those that have mental health issues that causes them harm and society harm.
That's right. That's right. And I think if you look at what the governor had to say in the leadership of Commissioner Bashir, very encouraged that we are tackling that issue. So when we talk to employers across the state, there's a variety of reasons, whether they're hiring or needing to hire, that sometimes it's more challenging, and sometimes it's making sure that people have the proper skills they need. Right. Sometimes it's making sure that this mental health compartment is working properly, and people are getting access to that type of, I guess those types of resources to make sure, they have seen that those things turn into substance abuse or may turn in, and then which then gives you challenges to show up to work on time.
Sure.
I mean, it's kind of a vicious cycle there. And I did hear, the commissioner said we were the lowest in the nation when it came to mental health professionals with regards to our schools. And so I'm encouraged that we can maybe tackle this early, invest early in our youngest citizens and make sure we have a more productive workforce in the future.
Well, one of the things I know you're concerned about, and as Governor Kay Ivey's concerned about, and I am as well, is that we do today the things that will make for a better tomorrow.
That's right.
And we have to do that.
Well, and Bill, sometimes that's a challenge. So, people want to, we live in a society where we want instant gratification. We want to see results today. And I am not negating that we need to see results and do things that can make an instant impact, but we've also got to plant the trees whose shade we will never stand under, that will be for someone else. And so I'm encouraged that we're not only fixing problems now, but we are laying a foundation for our children and our children's children to have a better Alabama.
Well, everybody I talk to says you're doing a great job, and I want to thank you for your service at BCA and to our state.
Well, I really appreciate it, and
come back soon,
appreciate the opportunity. Absolutely.
Okay. You're watching the voice of Alabama politics. Our special guest today has been Katie Boyd Britt, CEO and President of the Business Council of Alabama. We'll be right back.